welcome back to College from Home. I'm Tara Lynch, and today I'm joined by senior sports media major Nick Friend. Nick, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is a little different from our play-by-play experience together, but we'll make it work as best we can. So, Nick, you are a senior. You are job hunting right now. What is that like given the current environment?
Yeah, it's certainly different than expected, to say the least. As you know, I have an interest in both the news side as well as the sports side. So there's certainly more news opportunities than sports given our current environment, and where sports are obviously kind of on pause and a lot of the major companies have hiring freezes. But there's still opportunities out there, especially in news. I think you have to certainly be more creative with some of your emails and your outreaches, because any job that's posted right now, even in news, is going to be more competitive because there's less of them. But there's still opportunities out there, and I've been fortunate to get a couple responses, and we'll see where it goes. But it's definitely a different job market than expected. But again, being creative certainly leads to opportunities, as it always will.
And in some of our classes, we actually share one together. We've been talking about different opportunities for communication students like you and I to just continue creating during this time, continue reporting. What is some advice, or what are some things that you've seen or done during this time to just keep your portfolio moving forward?
Yeah, I think it was really good advice from that professor, is that this is an opportunity in many regards, especially in the news side, even on the sports side. On the sports side, I've gone back and reviewed a lot of the tape. So some games that you and I have called, I've gone back and critiqued it. I've even heard of some sports students who are literally doing simulation games and video games like Madden and 2K, and literally prepping they're actually calling that game just to keep that play-by-play portion of your brain fresh. And then on the news side, I think this is I mean, obviously there's a lot of bad things about this, but it does provide opportunity to cover. I know we'll get into it, but I'm still at Ithaca College, so there's certainly stories to be recorded and filmed here. And this phone is an amazing camera, as our professor would say, an amazing tool. And really all you need is that and a laptop, and you can create packages, which is an industry term, like videos covering stories. You can go out and film mock, stand-ups and things like that, that are all still out there. And then things like you're doing with this series and interviewing people to keep that portion of your brain, fresh. So I think it certainly provides a lot of opportunities in what's a very difficult time, obviously.
Exactly. And you mentioned one thing, that you are still at Ithaca College right now. What is it like being on campus? Nobody else is really around. There's just a handful of people there. What is that even like?
Sure. Just to give a little background on that, because I know a lot of Ithaca people watch this. Do not come back to campus. The dorms are locked. Your ID will not work. The
He's
reason
an
I'm on
RA,
campus,
guys, so believe him. He knows what's up.
I'm a residential assistant, so I volunteered. They wanted a couple RAs to stay back to help international students and other students who have situations where going home for them isn't an option right now. There's about 100 or so students still on campus, but as I look out my window, it's very, very empty. So it's odd, and obviously there's definitely times where I do want to be with my family during this time. But on the flip side, I will say I feel very safe. I'm one of a few students here, so I pretty much stayed inside, so I feel safe in that regard. And in another regard, I know we'll also get into this, but it's hard to kind of maintain that routine, and working from home is certainly a different aspect, but it certainly helps me still kind of feel somewhat normal being here with whatever normal is in today's day and age.
Exactly. And Ithaca College being located in Tompkins County, very few cases there right now, as opposed to where you and I are from, both in New England. So it's definitely a safe place to be, as you mentioned. But switching gears a little bit, what is one tip that you would give to everyone else who is currently in the same situation as both of us?
Sure. I think just like everyone else, I'm learning every single day what works and what doesn't. I'd say the general thing, and this was actually an advice I got from a Park faculty member that's really helped, is just maintaining that routine, doing something as little as it's very easy to just lounge around all day in your pajamas because that's something you can do. But even little things like still getting dressed in the morning and just trying to maintain a routine as normal as possible. I know I've certainly created that. I know there's certainly many, suggested routines on social media that you could potentially follow. But finding that routine, and also, it sounds very cliche, but I think it is important to take time to take care of yourself during a time like this, and taking, even if it's just 2 or 3 hours a day, just to relax and breathe. Especially as Park students, I think we tend to be like, go, 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 go. And that's good and a positive, but I think it's important to remind ourselves to take a step back, even if it's just for 2 or 3 hours a day. And that certainly helps me. And I know helping a lot of other people is keeping that routine as normal as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
And stay tuned for more College from Home coming soon.